Greeting and salutations, gamers! It's me, the Purple Sharpie, here at Game Devs with Color Expo 2025 with yet another developer interview. I'm here today with the owner, the brainchild, the enigma. Don't ask him about him because you know him. Ace Patterson from 5 Mics. How you doing today, Ace?
What's good, Sharpie? Always a pleasure to see you. How you feeling?
I'd be doing better if you told us real quick about your game, 5 Mics.
It's the hip-hop trading card game. Imagine Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! But with rappers instead of dragons. It's a fast-paced, 2-player game that combines the fan and fundom of trading card games with the power and the flavor of hip-hop.
I like that. I like reminding people that they not like us sometimes. You know what I mean? Now, while I muse on that fact and the fact that Drake lost, let's go ahead and run this trailer.
Call me Ace, founder and creator of 5 Mics, the hip-hop trading card game. 5 Mics is a fast-paced 2-player game that combines the fun and fandom of trading card games along with the power and richness of hip-hop culture. You play as a music exec, and your 5 Mics deck is a roster of hip-hop artists with superpowers. Battle your ops, KO opposing artists, and prove why your team is the greatest of all time. Why 5 Mics? Why not? Seriously, I've been playing trading card games for over 20 years, and constantly I would see more or less the same old thing. Also being a hip-hop artist myself and growing up in hip-hop culture, I just always found it fascinating that we walk around and we talk and act like superheroes, right? We got alter egos and spit fire and fly and bulletproof and boogeyman and all these different things. And I just thought one day as I was playing a trading card game and reflecting on the fact that a lot of people from where I'm from, you know, the hood, did not want to play with me. I was like, well, what if instead of having dragons and magicians, have rappers with superpowers? I got obsessed with it, and now we're at a point where we have players in over 65 cities, including a few international cities. We're in a few stores out here in California, and this is all from the ground up. This is really made by us and for us.
As we saw in that trailer, this game is a trading card game that was inspired by hip hop. I don't think I've really ever seen anything quite like this, to be honest. But how did you decide you first wanted to make this game?
You're right in feeling that way because it does not exist, at least not in the way that I'm doing it. But yeah, I've just played trading card games for almost 2 decades now, and you know, constantly one, seeing the same type of tropes, but secondly, growing up where I grew up, not many people wanted to play with me. Let's be honest. We all want to play games with other people. So one day I was just like, what if instead of dragons and magicians, you had rappers with superpowers? And as somebody that's a hip hop artist, grew up around hip hop and everything, that wasn't a far-fetched idea to me. But the more I tried to put it aside, the more it kept coming back. And I just got obsessed, kept working on it. And next thing you know, it's what I'm doing full time.
I have to ask, as we're surrounded and kind of inundated with trading card games like Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, even virtual games like Runeterra, where did you come up with the concept of creating your own characters inside of this hip hop game instead of using like real life hip hop artists?
I mean, when the idea first came, of course, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to like have real artists in, right? Like if you think of Def Jam Vendetta, for example, it's like, okay, it's all real hip hop artists, but in order to keep expanding with Def Jam Vendetta, you have to keep having real hip hop artists, right? And so to have your own artist just created a whole sense of freedom and creative, you know, expression of, oh, I can do this. And this doesn't have to be represented by anybody, right? Like it just, the constraints are gone. And then secondly, like, legal implications. You can't just steal someone's name and likeness and just throw it on a card. Like, sure, that's cool. And yeah, people do that. But like, I want to make a real game that like actually can, you know?
No,
move,
as we know, Drake is very litigious. So we like to stay careful with our IPs around here, you know?
Listen, if rappers don't know, their lawyers know. So
yeah, so real for that one. Speaking of obviously the real life implications and creating your own narrative space for 5 Mics, can you tell us a little bit more about the narrative world and the universe that 5 Mics is set in?
Absolutely. So the 5 Mics universe, it's based in Unity City, which is also known as the City of Soul. In this world, which is a mix of nonfiction as well as second world fantasy, you have this reality where when you tap into your ability to make hip hop, you are all of a sudden connected to your supernatural celestial inner gift, which based off of the combination of nurture and nature starts to develop in a way that is very particular to you. So a hip hop artist might literally all of a sudden start spitting fire or realize that they can fly, things like that. And just really starting to take these things that we hear all the time in hip hop and actually turning it into a thing where now you have these artists that as their, skills grow, their popularity grows, their fandom grows, so do their supernatural abilities. So we have Stone Hot Andretti, who represents our chill style, Pretty Millie, who represents our party style, Big Hot Girl, who represents our hardcore style, Shot Kim for emo, and Black Chaz for conscious. And they all have their own, characters, attributes. Black Chaz, for example, does not want a Grammy, wants all about for the people, doesn't really care about the flashing lights. Pretty Millie, the exact opposite. Social media influencer, got signed, going viral, the whole thing, right? And so just bringing in these characters and giving them a life of their own has been just the other aspect of why I love what we're building as a team.
Oh no, and when you were talking about Millie, I was really resonating with it because I played the party deck and I was having so much fun. As soon as I got those 3 party ones out, attacking that HP straight up.
Come on, Pretty Millie, yes. Yeah. Now Pretty Millie she's crazy. She's crazy. And like what I love about the party style too, I mean, it's all about getting money. And so of course it is, right? Getting money and being fly. And so as you're playing it, as you already have experienced, it's like, as soon as you start re-upping, you play royalty check came, and now you got all this extra money. Yes. You're just throwing a whole bunch of artists on stage. They're flying. It's like, it's this quick show that's painful for your op, but for you, it's a great time.
Oh,
not a
delicious.
long time, but a great time.
I love it. Big fan. I rise above everyone else and make money, just like Kendrick did. Big fan of that. Big fan.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of me playing the game, I did play, obviously, a few rounds of the game. I may have even doubled up and ran back double or nothing against my husband when we played.
Hey, love it.
But I noticed that it was really fast. As a matter of fact, when we played, we actually didn't go over round 7, even though the game ends after 12 rounds. You stated previously you've played over 20 years of card games. Was that intentional to make 5 cards a fast-paced game as opposed to other games out there?
Absolutely. No, I wanted 5 mics to be really fast. So there's 12 rounds max. If you do last for 12 rounds, the game has to end, right? Most games last between 4 to 6 rounds. So the fact that y'all went 7 rounds, like that's a pretty longer than average game, right? Which for other games, that's like, you're just getting started. But for us, it's like, yeah, round 3, round 4 starts to feel like, hey, what's going to happen, right? It was very intentional. And just even thinking about, okay, if you're going to make a game that fast, how do you balance it in such a way where it doesn't feel too fast? So like, for example, think of it like battle rapping, right? So like, I wanted it to feel in the way where like, if you and I were going into, we're going to battle rap, right? Like it's usually a 3-round match. But then you think of verses and it was like, 10 to 20 rounds or whatever. So it's like somewhere in between a battle cypher and like a boxing match is really how long I wanted 5 mics to feel.
Look, I manage my econ and my bags the same, honey. Both of them real long. You feel me?
I love it.
Now, I want to delve a little bit more into the hip hop aspect of this. Hip hop has a very round, robust, storied history, especially in the African American community. You grabbed onto that narrative and you told a unique story exclusively to you and yourself. But I have to ask, in the year 2025, when people are questioning what hip hop is, what are you trying to preserve about hip hop through this game?
I love that question a lot. I would say, some games, they want you to choose like hero or villain. And hip hop it's 50 plus years old. And so that alone, there's so much inspiration to draw from. But hip hop has gone through so many different phases of, is it the good guy? Is it the bad guy? Is it the whatever the case? And so I just wanted to take this approach where, look, I'm not going to judge you for what style you play. If you want to be the hardcore style, if you want to be the conscious style, it's up to you. You could do an amalgamation of whatever you want. I wanted there to be female representation and just representation in general across all different spectrums, right? And so I wanted that to be prominent when you think about our main characters. Even like Pretty Millie and Big Hot Girl, one of the story arcs that we have in the game is that society wants them to be against each other because there can only quote unquote be one, top female artist, but they actually are best friends. Even having that kind of nuance in our characters and how they're being presented was really important. I think the last part is just being able to help people see themselves in what we call hip hop, right? And so just as people have been playing, we've had people say like, yo, I'm dressed as this character right now. Or another person saying like, wow, Jelani Williams, like my name is Jelani. I'm a hip hop artist, right? Like what hip hop did for me was give me a voice, allow me to be able to express certain things in spaces where I felt like I couldn't, and be able to share those with other people that felt the same way. And so for you to be able to see yourself in the game that you're playing, I mean, that's about as hip hop as it gets, honestly.
It's always very salient to always hear a developer talk about the real life players and the real life people playing the games that are also having these experiences, and how that becomes a cultural flashpoint in that person's life. I don't feel as though we talk about that enough here. But to tangent upon that, obviously, we've gone over what goes into Five Mics and how some of the inspiration from the culture and other card games affects it. But what would you say is the thing that makes Five Mics stand out as a game?
I've been thinking about this since 2017. This is the type of game where your deck is your health. And so removing cards from your deck is both an advantage and a disadvantage depending on the circumstance. And that already is a very sensitive subject for some people. The deck is so fragile that you really have to find ways to both protect it as much as you are exploiting it. That's where all of the different mechanics would come in, which was just like, okay, you want to be able to bring cards back into the deck, and that's where heal came from. You want to prevent the damage that's coming to your deck, and so that's where cut came from. It's a hip hop trading card game, and so I was like, all right, money. You need more bags. How are you going to get more bags? And again, going back to hip hop, some people talk about investing money. Some people just talk about throwing money. Figuring all of that out, it took time. And then once it was like, okay, you have all these different mechanics, give them a home. Listen, I have a whole spreadsheet. I have everything, right? It was just tinkering and a bunch of iterations, playing with, other people and getting there. Wow, you know what? Like, that didn't feel that fun, or I think that ended too quick, or whoa, you won in 2 rounds, right? Like just getting these different things for years until we got to a point where it's like, all right, this is the foundation that we can actually rock with. So
that final moment of after you lose your HP, which essentially is your deck, you could have no cards out there, but you're still fighting because you have artists out there on the battlefield fighting, battle rapping for their lives, and you don't die until you get hit again. That's a very, very unique mechanic. Was there another reason why you set it up so that even when you have no cards, you can still play?
That actually was something unique to us. As far as I'm concerned, all the other trading card games that I've played, as soon as your deck is empty, you automatically lose. If you try to draw a card and you don't have any cards to draw, you just automatically lose. For me, play testing with other people, as soon as your deck is over and you just automatically lose, it's like, wait, what just happened, right? It's almost like somebody just plugged the lights out, right? And so I was like, what if you just keep playing it? Sharpie has to draw. She doesn't have anything to draw. Then she just can't draw. Like, just figure it out, right? And then in that moment, it felt more like the finish him moment in Mortal Kombat, because it's like, all right, you can win a fighting game when your health bar is like literally like touching the edge, but you still win. It's like that kind of feeling. You know what I mean?
Oh, Pixel Victories, honey. Look it up. Combo Breaker 2016. Sharpie won a money match, $85 with a Pixel Victory. Honey, look it up. Combo Breaker 2016. YouTube that, viewer. YouTube it. I'm right there with that victory, baby. Same face, same mug.
That is the inspiration.
Tell them about it.
That is the inspiration. It's that feeling of winning while you're in the danger zone. There's no greater feeling, right? And so that right there, just bringing in just that love for FGC and bringing it into a card game, that's really where it came from.
Ace, as always, I've been having so much fun talking to you, and I could legitimately talk to you forever. I'm not joking. You know I could, brother. I've done it before.
1,000%.
Ace, my final question for you. Is there anybody that you want to shout out on the team? I know that you had multiple artists that you used for the art here. I know that you worked with people to actually balance it. I know that you have a real healthy circle of friends that's your support group. Who do we have to thank for this product besides yourself?
Man, so many people. No one man's an island. So grateful for, Kayla, Zaire, Z, Rama, Clay, Casey, my wife, God, our advisors, Reggie, Sean, Kathy, Vicky, like Leo. I mean, there's so many people. Every single person that's ever play tested, every single person that's bought a deck, has played, told people, joined our Kickstarter, like everything. Every single person matters. Would not be here without you. So thank you.
Thank you for being here today, Ace. I super appreciate it. And viewer, thank you for watching this interview. If you're interested in 5 mics and want to check out the trading card game that's literally changing the culture, go over to 5mic.io and pick up a set. Tell them Sharpie sent you. We have even more game developers exclusively here at Game Devs of Color Expo 2025. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it.